And welcome back to another edition of the Sharp Corner, joined as always by Christian Pina in Las Vegas. Christian, congratulations on last week's clean sweep. Clean sweep. We went 3-0 with the FanSharp three ball. Without further ado, let's try to run it back again. What do you see on this week's card?
Yeah, let's go to one of the games of the week, and that is Florida versus Georgia. Now, traditionally, I truly don't like to bet games that are, huge prime time. Prop market notwithstanding is very, very different. But I kind of love to be where the odds of the world aren't on, and kind of those are, the thought process being, with as big as the bet handle is expected to be, they're going to be the sharpest lines in the world. I just kind of see this one completely different than odds makers. And when something like that happens, you can get really excited and, maybe, overextend yourself, stuff like that. And it's one of those things where you can, you need to kind of take a step back and, take a look at this and say, what am I missing here? But I think that this is a game where, this Georgia team, we've talked about it, has been Jekyll and Hyde all year. I think that on the Florida side of the ball, Kyle Trask is, this could be an absolute Heisman statement game with Trevor Lawrence going down. I just don't think, Mac Jones is necessarily going to get the credit that will be needed to kind of, take that Heisman, next step, just because of the offensive weapons around him. And that's kind of what you hear every single week, anytime that he does something. So I think that, Kyle Trask, as kind of an aside note, if you have a fluid, Heisman market out there in wherever state that you're in, I think Trask is a great candidate right now to kind of get on board with this, because this could be the Heisman moment, the Heisman statement game for him. From the side total perspective on this game, I absolutely love Florida. I just think that Georgia defense doesn't necessarily, it hasn't been kind of as cut and dry where the defenses are stopping these great offenses. Florida just has so many weapons all around. And I really do think that this game is going to be a mismatch. It's going to be kind of a game where we say, oh, the bad Georgia kind of showed up here. And, and maybe it necessarily will have more to say about Florida, which I think it will. But I just don't think Georgia's defense is going to be anywhere close to what's needed to stop Kyle Trask in this offense. So Florida, I would say even go money line, but the 3.5 is more than enough value to get me to the window there.
Okay. And where are we going next?
Yeah, so we are going to the a little bit of we go from kind of a marquee game to a little bit, off the board, maybe for some people, but we're going to keep this train rolling. What did I say last week? Let's keep it simple, and it worked out for us. We're fading Kansas until they cover a spread. Haven't done it this year. I would even look as kind of, if your, books out there have this market, I think that the Oklahoma team total is probably the safest play in this game to go over, whatever that is. And again, you look at a correlation of Oklahoma minus 37.5 and a total of 63. I don't know, I think that Kansas probably can do enough to even push that total over again. Oklahoma team total is that, but for the sake of the three ball here, we are laying it until Kansas proves they can stop a spread. It's a big number here, but minus 37.5, we're keeping it simple, and we're going to keep on fading them.
Let's do it. And one more.
Yeah, in the National Football League, look, this is kind of a, if you go back and look at what I said about Indianapolis last week, everything kind of, it's nice when a plan comes together, right? But when you look at this, Baltimore and Indy here, Baltimore laying the short number on the road of about 2, with what just happened with Baltimore, at that, looking at this, objectively, both teams coming in at 5-2, I do think that Indianapolis is going to be a contender. I just think that with, a tough division game, Baltimore losing that close one needs to get back on track. And I just look at this from kind of a very simple perspective. What team is more likely to be 6-2, which versus 5-3? And to me, it's Baltimore all day. And you're basically getting a pick of money line price. 1-2 is kind of a dead zone a little bit. Of course, it's coming to play a little bit more since extra points are moved back here. But Baltimore's, offense, again, against what Pittsburgh tried to do, which was, take away their best weapons, which they were, fairly good at. But you look up and Baltimore still putting up 24 on them. Indianapolis's defense, I don't think is going to be able to do enough. And this is going to be a nice kind of bounce back win for Baltimore, where maybe, again, I've said this, much like Indianapolis, I'll say it with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just keeps winning. And, again, I think that win against Baltimore says more for Pittsburgh than it is kind of a knock against Baltimore. I really do. And so for those facts, I'm going Baltimore minus the 2.
Okay. And there you have it, our FanSharp three ball for this weekend. Florida minus the 3.5. We're going to fade Kansas and take Oklahoma minus the big number, 37.5. And we'll take the Ravens minus the short 2 points. Christian, 3-0 last weekend. Let's see what we can do this week. Now, for those of you out there in Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, and New Jersey, you can play on PointsBet. And we want you to look on FanSharp.com. You'll see a sign-up deposit offer. You'll see a link to getting a sign-up bonus of up to $250. You could literally take these 3 plays Christian has given out and line them up as part of your free play with PointsBet. Terrific opportunity. We can build a bankroll that way. Super. Christian, thank you for the FanSharp 3-ball. Let's take a look at the marquee college game of the day, Notre Dame and Clemson. I think a little of the steam, the sizzle has come off this game with the Trevor Lawrence injury, but it's still, one of the bigger games of the week, certainly even the year. Clemson currently has been sitting at -5 all week. What do you see, Christian, as these two top teams square off on Saturday?
Yeah, the famous Vegas dead zone in that -4 to -5 range, which basically just tells you oddsmakers don't really know what to do with this game. I think they have to just by name value, knowing the type of action that they're going to see, have to make Clemson the favorite. I probably would put it, honestly more closer to a pick 'em, the 2.5. You probably get some buyback at 3.5 for professional groups. That being said, I mean, you talked about it, right? It's kind of lost a little bit of its luster, but, as I was going through this game, Notre Dame is 0-5 against top 5 opponents under Kelly, an 11-game losing streak versus those teams dating back to 2003. That being said, on the other side of the coin, 29-3 in their last 32 and won 22 consecutive at home, 12 in a row. So kind of which way is the narrative here? I think the only way that you can look is Notre Dame plus the points. Now, look, obviously Clemson's offense got going in the second half as they needed to just squeak by a Boston College. Was that a look-ahead spot to this? Was it not? I mean, you can kind of decide here, but this is going to derail Clemson's entire season if they're not able to do it. And it's kind of a shame, being as Lawrence has no symptoms. He's with the team. He just has to basically, it's kind of something kind of weird with the SEC is they have a cardiovascular or kind of a heart thing where it's a different type of quarantine once you're diagnosed with COVID. So it really is a shame for this Clemson program. I don't know that they can do enough. And again, I'm necessarily, I don't think this is a game that I will be getting involved in. But I think the only way that you can look is Notre Dame plus the points in this scenario. I would have loved, maybe even a teaser leg up. But I have to look, I have to kind of see this quarterback do it for Clemson before I would get involved. Either way, I think that, Dabo certainly gets the coaching edge by far, in my opinion. It'll have them ready, but it's ETN is going to have the game of his life. And I just don't know, knowing that from a Notre Dame perspective, I think you stop the run and, making a backup quarterback beat you is, when you are Notre Dame, I think that streak may come to an end and this may, really derail Clemson's season, which is a real shame. Okay.
And let's take a look at UFC Fight Night on Saturday. The main event is Santos and Teixeira. Any thoughts on that, Christian?
Yeah, I probably won't be getting involved, but just to, kind of break it down again, Santos, the huge favorite here at -230, Teixeira at +190. Probably, again, heavyweights type of situations, light heavyweights, usually you always kind of want to gravitate towards the underdog just because, again, anything can happen. This is probably a coin flip fight. That's why I say it's a dog or pass perspective from an odds-wise. But this one's really kind of cut and dry. Either Santos is going to win via knockout, in my opinion, or Teixeira kind of takes over and finds success and probably wins on the judges' scorecard. So, again, digging into the prop market and pass to victory here, Santos via knockout, probably a little bit of a better price than that, and Teixeira via decision as well, that you can kind of, bump those up a little bit. But dog or pass situation, not one that I'll be, but it is very kind of, in my opinion, fairly clear how each fighter gets it done. Just remains to be seen kind of which way it will go.
Okay, great. And there you have it. That'll wrap up another edition of the Sharp Corner this week with Christian Pina from Las Vegas. Thanks, Christian, as always. Let's shoot for another winning week. It's been great. Let's keep it going, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.